'Cause when the music fades and all is stripped away, and I simply come, longing just to bring something less of worth that will bless your
My brothers and sisters,
heart.
in today's second reading, we are encouraged to be patient until the second coming of Christ. Patience is a virtue. It's a strange virtue. That is, it does not mean being passive. As the reading suggests, patience makes our heart firm. A patient person is someone who can endure hardship because they see the ultimate victory ahead, even when others cannot. A patient person can see beyond the immediate horizon. Now, the opposite of being patient is a brutal lack of self control, a recklessness, or perhaps on the opposite side, a falling into complete despair. So, to be a person without patience is either a person who has no self control, is reckless, or can't even act. They're paralyzed by despair. So, my friends, to be patient with ourselves, our teammates, and our coaches is the foundation of all progress. Now, I think you can agree with me when we feel disappointed with certain aspects of ourselves or our performances. Patience helps us to avoid dwelling on our imperfections. For me, in the classroom, on the mats, or perhaps at the pulpit, and with God's grace, inspires us to improve. As you may know, the phrase trust the process is common in sports, right? You hear that from your coaches, you hear that from your teammates. Trust the process. It means that every athlete must go through a development process to become good or great at their sport, at their craft. No one can go from beginner to expert without first making mistakes. In sports, in the life of discipleship, in my case, as a teacher, as a priest, growth for many of us is gradual. We need to learn to trust and love the process of becoming holy, of becoming saints, and of becoming people who proclaim the good news to the sick and to the poor, and help others receive Christ. Yes, my friends, you can become holy and saints with your teammates, with your coaches. Give them a sense that despair does not have the final word, and that they too can become holy and saints for others.
So today, let's talk about priorities. You know, as basketball coaches, baseball coaches, any coach any sport we're coaching, we're always talking to our kids about priorities. Set your priorities straight. And for us as Catholics, I think if we all talked about what priorities look like in our life, it would start with God as our first priority, and then we'd say our family, our friends, our work, and our hobbies. But today, I'm going to argue that that's wrong, that your priority list, if it's set up that way, is wrong. And the reason I say this, and before you crucify me for it, the reason I say this is we are called as Catholics to incorporate God into every aspect of our life. We're not supposed to make God the number one priority and then forget about him the rest of the day. And even if we did make God our first priority, what does that mean? We aren't going to be able to spend 16 hours in the adoration chapel if we have a family, if we have a profession. We just can't do that. Paul asks us, pray without ceasing. And that makes God a part of every aspect of your day, all the time. Whether you're eating or drinking, you're thinking of God, you're thanking God. And that, I believe, is what our priority list should look like. It should be 1, God in my prayer life, in my spiritual life. 2, God incorporated into my family life. 3, God a part of my friendships. 4, God motivating and inspiring my work life, and 5, God glorified through my hobbies and my habits and all those things. That, in my estimation, is what a true Catholic Christian priority list looks like. Not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, God at the top and then everything else, but God incorporated into every single one of our priorities. If we can do that, I believe our priority list is where it should be, and I believe that God will be incorporated into every aspect of our life.
Cause when the music fades and all is stripped